Welcome back, everybody. Now, this next story could be an important wake-up call for us all. Retired Navy Chief Jim Hill thought he was healthy. Then, less than 2 months ago, he had a major heart attack. The only other person at home at the time, his daughter, Rebecca. Jim's life suddenly thrust into her hands. Just watch.
My father was 49 when he had a massive coronary. He was gone right away. Then when I was 30, I found out I was going to be a dad. So I quit smoking, I took up running, and I was going to the gym every morning. Every time my blood pressure goes up, they throw me on a stress test. I've had many stress tests over the years. I started feeling in probably the last month or two, I'm starting to feel I wasn't really as energetic as I had been. I remember thinking, you know, I should probably make an appointment with the doctor and talk about this, but I didn't. I put it off.
It was September 6th. I was home with him. We were planning actually a trip to go visit a medical school the next day.
I felt a little bit of stiffness in this area of my neck, and I went upstairs to lay down.
I just heard him hit the floor. I went to the stairs and I called his name thinking he dropped something, and he didn't answer, so I ran up the stairs, and his lips were blue and his eyes were starting to bulge because he was not able to breathe. All I could think was, I can't do this situation by myself, like I need to get someone to help me.
911, where's your emergency?
My dad collapsed.
Where at?
He's able to breathe.
I remember her asking me to put the phone near his mouth so she could hear what he sounded like.
He's making a weird noise.
What's it sound like? Put him up to the phone so I can hear.
And she was so calm about it. She was like, okay, you need to start CPR. And I was never trained on CPR.
I'm gonna count for you, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It felt like everything else was falling apart, but that voice I could follow.
Is he like stirring awake or anything at all?
He's inhaling a little bit, but it's shaky.
Okay, we're gonna keep doing the counts then, okay?
Okay.
I do remember thinking, okay, I need to do this because if I don't, he's not gonna make it.
Please welcome Rebecca and Jim Hill. We're so glad you're here.
Yes.
And Jim, especially, we're glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
I bet you are. So you've never heard all the 911 calls, anything. You lay down to rest. The next thing you know, 2 days later, you open your eyes, and you're in the hospital.
Yes.
Well, I mean, what went through your mind when you found out Rebecca had saved your life?
I was thrilled to be alive, but of course, I'm so proud of her for doing a wonderful job and keeping me alive. I mean, everybody wants their kids to grow up and be able to take care of themselves and be successful, but I know she can take care of herself. She could take care of me.
Rebecca, when you listen to your calm voice, I mean, I know you must be proud of her. Because
Absolutely.
To stay calm in an emergency like that is brave. What was it like when you knew that you had your father's life in your hands?
At the time, I didn't even think that I had his life in my hands. I was just thinking, he's sick, something's wrong. But when she said to do CPR, I was like, okay, this is a serious situation now. And just hearing the 911 call again, I'm just like, wow, that's what I sound like. That's my first reaction. And then my second reaction is just thinking, okay, people say I sounded calm, but I can hear in my voice I was shaking. And I remember actually standing there over his body, like making the call and hearing her voice and everything else. And
Jim, take us back to those days and weeks leading up to the heart attack. Did you feel okay? Looking back on it, were there any warning signs maybe?
Yeah, there were a few warning signs in retrospect.
Okay.
Hindsight being 20/20. I had been more tired. Every once in a while in the afternoon, I'd get home from work and I just want to sit down for a few minutes. And usually I'm the type of guy who comes home from work and I jump into a project and get involved in things. So I was starting to take a little more time to rest and relax. And then on the day it happened, I felt some tension in my neck here. And, you know, I went looking for an aspirin, if I remember. A baby aspirin is what I kind of wanted, as I was concerned a little bit. But I said, no, it sort of dissipated. I went upstairs and lay down. And 2 days later, like you said, there I was in the hospital.
And Rebecca, you call the 911 dispatcher. She says CPR. You'd never done CPR before.
no, she was like, do you know how to, like, let's do CPR, do you know how to do it? I was like, absolutely not. Like, but if that's what needs to be done, let's just do it. So
And she talked you through it?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, I did it wrong. So the deputy came, and he had me continue to do CPR while he set up the AED, and I started doing it. He's like, that's not right. I was like, well, it worked so far.
Yeah, but you saved his
Good enough.
life.
Yes.
And you want to be a doctor. You lost your mom. You lost your wife.
Yes.
You wanted to be a doctor since that moment. Has this, saving your dad's life, compounded that even more?
I think for me specifically, it's shown me that in a stressful situation, I can stay calm and just do what's necessary.
That
and
is obvious.
Yes.
Really. Well, when we come back, Rebecca and Jim are going to meet the 911 dispatcher and the deputy who helped save Jim's life for the first time. Don't go away.
911, where's your emergency?
My dad collapsed.
Where
I don't know
at?
if he's able to breathe. He's making a weird noise.
What's it sound like? Put him up to the phone so I can hear. Is he like stirring awake or anything at all?
He's inhaling a little bit, but it's shaky.
That was part of the 911 call that helped save Jim Hill's life after he had a heart attack with the help of the operator, his daughter Rebecca, performing CPR until a deputy arrived. Well, now for the first time, they're all going to meet each other. Please welcome 911 dispatcher Sarah Mattingly and deputy Taylor Hall.
Thank you, sir.
I remember you.
Well, this is great. So this is the first time you're meeting. What are your emotions right now, Jen and Rebecca?
Have a sit down.
I'm overwhelmed. I've wanted to meet you guys for a while.
Yeah, same.
So, thank you. I don't think I can possibly express how grateful I am for you guys being the consummate professionals that you are. Thank you.
And Rebecca, to meet Sarah, she was your guiding light in a time where you needed her the most. What do you want to say to her?
Your voice is like in my mind now. I just hear all the time. It was so steady, and just whenever I think about this situation, I think of everything unraveling. But your counting was just so, it was just amazing. You did a great job.
Thanks. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I definitely had help from my whole team. I had somebody sitting next to me keeping the beat because it's hard to sing It's Staying Alive while you're counting at the same time. And then you have somebody else that's taking your notes. So definitely shout out to Disha for helping me out to make this even better.
You're clearly emotional. I would imagine you get calls like this on a regular basis. Have you ever been able to meet someone whose life you...
No, that's why it's so wonderful. It's amazing. I was hoping I wouldn't cry, but I can't help it. It's just, wow. I'm really glad that I was able to help.
Also joining us, we've got cardiologist Dr. Jennifer Haythe. So, Doctor, the symptoms that Jim was describing, how common is that?
So it's actually surprisingly common. People often feel things in the weeks or months leading up to a heart attack that they chalk up to just being tired or being under a lot of stress, when in fact they're actually getting a sign from their body that something's not right.
Tell us about this new system. I mean, oftentimes you hear CPR and you think mouth to mouth, which is what's been holding me back from saying that.
He has never had an Altoid.
Apparently we can save lives now without mouth to mouth.
Yeah, so I think that the first thing is that 90% of people who experience an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest will die, which is a shocking number if they don't have CPR. So that number improves to about 40% with CPR started outside in the field. So we want to encourage people not to shy away from doing CPR, and I think mouth-to-mouth rightfully scares people away from doing it to strangers, and also people get confused with the timing or if they haven't had formal training. In hands-only CPR, you don't need formal training. You just need to put your hands together and compress the chest to a beat, like staying alive.
Now, Deputy Hall, is it true that you told Rebecca that she was doing it wrong?
No. She was actually doing a really good job when I got there. When I first got there, she was very emotional, and I'm sure as anyone would be in that situation. But actually, she walked out of the room as I was preparing everything, and I actually had to tell her to come back inside and
keep going.
Keep going. She's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Well, I think she did.
Like,
Well, you all are lifesavers.
Yeah.
Literally.
You're literally a perfect story for a day like today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for helping us see the good out there. And we'll be right back after this.